Hello everyone, this is Arpit here. Today I'm going to present my research on the topic blockchain and the prospect of Web 3.0. We'll first understand what a blockchain is, its advantages, then look into the history of the web, and then finally explore Web 3.0. So at this point of time, we have all come across the word blockchain or Bitcoin at least once. The blockchain is an undeniably ingenious invention, the brainchild of Satoshi Nakamoto. But since then, it has evolved into something greater. So what actually is the blockchain? Now, the blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain. Each block in the chain contains a number of transactions, and every time a new transaction occurs on the blockchain, a record of that transaction is added to every participant's ledger. The decentralized database managed by multiple participants is known as a distributed ledger technology, that is DLT. Blockchain is a type of DLT in which transactions are recorded with an immutable cryptographic signature called a hash. This means that if one block in one chain was changed, it would be immediately apparent it had been tampered with. So if hackers wanted to corrupt a blockchain system, they will have to change every block in the chain across all the distributed versions of the chain. Blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are continually and constantly growing as blocks are being added to the chain, which significantly adds to the security of their ledger. So why is there so much hype around the blockchain technology? Now, there have been many attempts in the past to create digital money, but they have always failed. The prevailing issue is trust. If someone creates a new currency, let's say called X, how can we trust that they won't give themselves a million X dollars or steal million X dollars from someone? Bitcoin was designed to solve this problem by using a specific type of database called a blockchain. Most normal databases, such as an SQL database, have someone in charge who can change the entries. Blockchain is different because nobody is in charge. It's run by the people who use it. What's more, Bitcoin can't be faked, hacked, or double spent. So people that own this money can trust it has some value. Now, there's plenty of whisper around Web 3.0 and the revolutionary changes it will bring to the entire digital world, but even amidst this buzz, very few people know what has led to this web version. So, what is the history of Web 3.0 and what changes would it bring in? In order to understand Web 3.0 to its entirety, it is important to look back at its predecessors, that is Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. Web 1.0. Believe it or not, there used to be a version of the internet that existed before social media and video streaming. This was a time before Google in the mid to late 90s. The internet used to be dominated by Alta Vista and Netscape. Back then, the internet existed only to advertise their brick and mortar companies. These websites were read-only web, meaning that you were only allowed to search for information and read it. Most e-commerce websites are still Web 1.0 in the nature that they present products to their customers and take money from the ones who are interested. These websites are usually very smooth and fast. However, the level of user interaction is minimalistic. Going on to Web 2.0. The next iteration of the internet was called Web 2.0 or the read-write web. Now users were not just idle visitors, they could create their own content and upload it to a website. Starting roughly 2003, when the term was coined by Dale Dougherty, vice president of O'Reilly Media, Web 2.0 has taken over the world by storm. In just over a decade, it has completely redefined marketing and business operations. Instagram influencers can make or break a brand by posting one single photo. Yelp reviewers can destroy a restaurant by one single negative review. Audience reviews are critical when it comes to buying decisions. According to a survey, 90% of the customers reading online reviews before purchasing, and 88% of them trusting them as much as personal recommendation. So Web 2.0's main aim was to make the internet more democratic and make it as user accessible as possible. So now Web 2.0 was a dream come true and a voice for the voiceless, until the UN found out that the internet users had increased from its 738 million count to 3.2 billion between 2000 and 2015, and they were bringing with themselves massive amount of data. And as soon as the big corporations realized that the unfathomable amount of personal data that was now available on their fingertips was the most expensive asset, stockpiling of data began in the centralized server of Amazon, Facebook, and Google. Internet users started sacrificing their security for the convenience of better services, and before they knew, their browsing habits, identities, online shopping was sold to the highest bidder with questionable motives. The inception of Web 3.0. The concentration of data in the hands of tech behemoths who had money and connection soon started showing its evil side. News of popular brands selling and being careless about our data started emerging, with instances slowing leading to financial loss and identity theft. The users started looking away from convenience and started questioning the worth of a quality that was leaving them exposed. The time was back to bring back power of data to end users. Decentralization is what was needed. Blockchain was the means and Web 3.0 was the aim. So what is Web 3.0? Web 3.0 is a fair and transparent network where people will interact without the fear of loss of security or privacy. This web version will make internet intelligent by bringing together the power of artificial intelligence and big data, all the while making web semantic. Web 3.0 is the time when web will be powered by blockchain to become more human. Blockchain will drive the process of how data is collected and managed across the web. The technology will bring together all the connected data with the help of AI and IoT and convert it into information that cannot be hacked or duplicated. Now we'll look into the components of Web 3.0. In order to achieve everything that is expected out of Web 3.0, blockchain, many technologies will have to unite and come on the forefront, meaning the integration of blockchain technology will not be enough. In order to make the web decentralized and semantic, the emerging technologies of our time will become the main components of Web 3.0. Number 1. With augmented and virtual reality and high fidelity 3D graphics, user interface of digital web will combine with the physical real world. The gap between the digital and the physical environment will fill, and we will expand the capability of to bring physical object in the digital world and digital objects in the physical world. Number 2. With IoT devices running on an ever-increasing advanced network such as 5G, the web will be ubiquitous through internet-connected computer interfaces of physical objects. Everything from phones to watches, cars to drones, and refrigerators to ovens will be connected on the internet. Number 3. With the artificial intelligence technology, computers will analyze and learn on the move to offer user-centric interactions. Capabilities such as chatbots acting on the front end, combined and machine learning algorithms working on the back end will make user experience relevant and semantic by analyzing structured and unstructured datasets. Now we'll look into the benefits of Web 3.0. Web 3.0 features will bring pro-privacy and anti-monopoly model on the table. It won't incentivize centralized platforms who keep the control of users' data in their hands. We will see a turnaround with decentralization and privacy coming at the center. With users now controlling how their data is viewed, the monopoly of tech giants will end, and there will be loss to zero instances of data privacy hacks. Number 1. The Web 3.0 will be highly secure. The Web 3.0 will be a lot more safe than its predecessors. Powered by decentralization and distributed nature, it will become impossible for hackers to penetrate the network without the operation being traced back to them. Number 2. Data ownership. Up until now, the data generated by users were managed and used by tech behemoths. With blockchain 3.0, with blockchain powered Web 3.0, the end users will get complete data ownership. Data which is transferred through the network will be totally encrypted. Users will be able to decide the information they want to share with corporations and advertising firms, and will be given an opportunity to earn from it. Interoperability. Web 3.0 features would allow users to access data across multiple applications without needing to be on any specific platform. This means you will not have to worry about a single device being accessible to Web 3.0 while others are not. And the final benefit is a permissionless blockchain. Web 3.0 blockchain will not need any central authority. Anyone will be able to join the network and participate in it by creating an address. This will eliminate the occurrence of users getting barred on their basis of gender, income, orientation, geographical or other sociological factors. It will also make it impossible for digital assets and wealth to be transferred cross-border in a time and cost-efficient manner. So, the transition to a trustless, anti-corruptible and anti-censorship system is not only necessary, it's inevitable. And the changes will be catastrophic in the following sectors. Let's look at these sectors one by one. File storage. Now, DApps or decentralized apps like Story, Filecoin and MadeSafe are leading the way in decentralized storage systems, all pushing to reduce costs and improve security with current storage providers. They run on the premise of trading unused storage capacity across desktops, servers and storage devices in exchange for their tokens on their platform. The nodes that store data will receive a reward in return and will perpetuate the framework. It will cost a fraction of what centralized storage platforms are offering, so these platforms will undoubtedly win consumers in the long term. Businesses will inevitably choose cheaper methods with improved security and privacy. If you live in Turkey or China, you are accustomed to explicit censorship and restrictive content. Now we'll look at the changes the transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0 will bring on our social networks and messaging. With Erdogan blocking Twitter and Xi Jinping banning anyone comparing him to Winnie the Pooh, there is no escape. And the Western world is not exempt either. Google released a code last year which scanned every private Google document for violations and restricted access if they deem necessary. The demand for free speech is universal, and in the current state of internet affairs, the imbalance of powers means the internet can be manipulated and blocked at a whim of benefit to any corporation or governmental agency. We are beginning to see decentralized social platforms like Steemit, Akasha, and Status filling the privacy void. There cannot be lawsuits demanding access or restriction to accounts without a central body, and the content remains in the hands of the user. Insurance and banking. Corruption, insider trading, greed, these terms have become synonymous with the insurance and banking industries. We are required to blindly trust the financial system because there are no alternatives on offer. Decisions are made behind closed doors and consumers have no say. It's not hard to see why these sectors top the bill on corporate collapses and scandals. With 182 billion worth of taxpayers bailout, This current broken system affects everyone. The peer to peer industry has demonstrated how non profit organizations can be sustainable long term. Take Mozilla or Wikipedia for example. They prove why centralized profit oriented governance is not necessary. But with the technology, we can go bigger. Blockchain provides an alternative where decentralized governance and trust is supplied through incorruptible smart contracts and cryptographic mathematics. The rules of the games are clear from the beginning. Video and live streaming. In 2005, YouTube, that is now owned by Google, popularized user generated content, representing an historic change in how we interact with the internet. But as time passed and profit objectives were required to be met, slowly but surely we saw big changes. It's considered free, but we do exchange our personal information like browsing and shopping habits mostly unconsciously. All the while, content generators only see a small percentage of the profit from advertising. Their advertising and censorship policies are vague, and many content generators argue that the video are inconsistently and unjustly demonetized. With 400 hours of content uploaded every minute, Google admitted that they, quote, don't always get it right, unquote. So, if the largest internet corporation in the world can't handle it, then it would appear that centralized control doesn't work out the best for consumers. Music. In terms of professional artists making their living off such streaming services, the 30% middleman fee cuts deep into those who are just paving their way. The decentralized web offers a better solution for streaming services, where users will be the owners and beneficiaries of their content. The Web 3.0 will make it possible to remove intermediaries and enable advertisers, viewers, and content creators to engage directly with one another. So, there you have it. We are on the verge of a real internet revolution. While it is true that there are several challenges to Web 3.0 implementation, the sheer innovation that it can bring to our lives is truly mind boggling. While there is a lot of hype, we still need some practical use cases of Web 3.0 to truly understand the positive changes it can bring on our lives. Thank you.